Hey guys, welcome new Earth leaders. I have 457. I had 456 subscribers all day, and I just got another one. So I'm pretty happy with that. That was a nice synchronistic number. And I've been slowly growing my subscriber count, and I'm happy about this. But right now, energies and moods, my mood in particular, it's all I can really speak to, has been terrible. And I want to talk about the Schumann resonance, and in particular the 60-hour blackout we just endured. I think we're still in it. Okay, where to start with this? Well, first of all, my favorite crystal, this is called selenite. It's actually satin spar gypsum, but they refer to it as selenite when they sell it. And this is one of the most powerful crystals. If I had to choose one only, this would be it. It's the one that I can feel the strongest, and I feel like it clears a lot of energy blockages for me. So if I have a lot of pain in an area, I'll even move this over that particular spot, and I find it actually helps. I mean, I go as far as sleeping with this, but it's kind of lumpy. But holding it close to places where you're not feeling the best is a great idea. This is actually true selenite. This is another type of gypsum, but you can see the crystals in it. This occurs naturally around here, and I often collect big chunks of it. It also has a similar effect. It doesn't seem to be as powerful as the satin spar to me, but it's free and it's laying on the beach. So we had a blackout. So if you don't know what the Schumann resonance is, it's essentially, the heartbeat of the planet. And why would you have a blackout? Your heart stops, you die. Not quite the same. So the Schumann resonance is measured in hertz, and it's the frequency of the electromagnetic pulse of the planet itself. Normally it sits around 7.8 hertz or cycles per second. It's very slow because she's very big. And we just had, I am struggling. This is brutal. I'm going to continue on though. I'm not going to stop. I've been told all day to talk about this, so I'm going to continue on, but you can see that my mental capacity is, slightly diminished. Having trouble formulating sentences and thinking clearly. But that is the reality of this. We're in a void right now. Okay, so her heartbeat can be, changed by a lot of things, but in particular, solar energies have a big effect on the cycles of the Schumann resonance. Now you can actually go on a website. Let me just open it up. I believe it's out of Italy. Disclosurenews.it, Italy, yeah. And then there's a / Schumann resonance today update /. And it has the current Schumann resonance measurements in graph form. And there's a lot of people on TikTok in particular, but in YouTube as well, that analyze these and understand exactly what's happening. I don't claim to, and it's not really that important. There's a lot of people that can see timeline jumps and shifts in the global consciousness on these graphs. It's really cool and interesting. But to the point that I take from this is that there's a blackout. Now, the people who measure these scientifically measured frequencies, they'll claim that there's some sort of instrument malfunction or something like this, and it's horse flop. What's happening is Mother Gaia is going through some very, very intense changes. And I have gone through some very intense changes with the lunar eclipse, as well as there are quite a few solar flares happening currently, which also affect your energetic body, as well as your physical body. So these mind-body complexes, the avatars that we're inhabiting as conscious beings, this human body that is Jason, is part of the planet. There's no separation between your body and the natural environment that you're in. We like to think that we're separate. It gives the ego something to chew on. But in reality, I say we, but our bodies, our avatar, is exactly the same. It is part of Mother Earth. Now, they're vessels for us to drive in this game that is Earth. So when Mother Earth, Gaia herself, goes through upgrades, spiritual upgrades, i.e. the frequency of the planet begins to raise, it affects the physical body and mind, i.e. the brain, not the conscious mind, not the conscious being that is you, the observer of all of this. So you can think about it as conscious you inhabiting the body, and your body-mind complex as a fingertip of the planet. So you're in constant connection with the earth, or should be. Get your shoes off, get on the ground. And it's projecting down over top of the body, and we're moving around the planet, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, if she's going through this massive energetic download, what do you think is going to happen to your body? How do you think you're going to feel? It'd be insane to think you're going to get out of this one feeling good. And this is a big one. So when the lunar eclipse happened, it was one of the most difficult energies I've had to ground. I had a lot of troubles grounding this energy. It's very difficult. It's one of the most powerful things I've been through since I started doing this, or become aware to it. And she's going through it too. So be patient with yourself. For God's sakes, rest. This is hard on your physical vessel. And we're sitting in this blackout, which means that it's unfathomable amounts of activity, or it's shut off. If it's shut off, she's grounding the energy herself. She's essentially resting. She's gotten the same energetic input that we got as physical vessels from this lunar eclipse and the alignment, and she's grounding this into herself, i.e. she's processing it, downloading the data, and implementing it into the body of the planet, which is, again, your physical body is part of the planet. So the benefits of this, well, it's going to take a little bit of time. It's been 60 hours now. Hopefully it stops soon and she turns back that heartbeat on, which means that our physical bodies are through the worst of it as well, right? Consider them exactly the same. There is no difference. So we should start feeling better. We should start feeling more connected. What I've noticed is that I feel very disconnected from my higher self. That it's very hard not to stay in the body, to not get drawn in because it feels so poorly, and it's like a void. It's like we turned off the machine, turned the power off on the computer while it has an upgrade. So it's not functioning. You can't run the operating system while it's getting an update. It's a good way to look at it. So the Gaia herself is getting an operating system upgrade, which means your physical body is too. And it's taking the time that it takes. But if it's not turned on and not functioning, your connection to your higher self is going to be pretty limited. And I have noticed this. I have very much noticed that it's hard to meditate. It's definitely hard to see in your third eye. I feel my third eye is open, but it's hard to see the things that I normally do see when I meditate, which usually happens when I am struggling personally, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like I have this big, huge personal thing that I need to deal with. This feels more of a global, collective consciousness issue. And I mean, that would make a lot of sense. So don't try to read too much into it. You're still going through it. You're in a void. You're in a shutdown period. So you wait. You wait for that operating system upgrade to turn back on. You wait for your reboot. And when it does, you will feel better. And not only that, so I talk about this quite often, but the Schumann resonance being the hertz or the cycling of the planet's energetic field, we have that as well. So our higher self, our consciousness, inhabits these bodies at a much, much higher frequency. So the total number of cycles or hertz for the cumulative amount of the chakra system combined together equals 144,000 hertz. And it has to ground into this body and inhabit this body. And if this body is vibrating really low, it becomes harder to embody that light. So you can't host it. You can't host as much of that light. And this is before dealing with any childhood trauma or physical issues that you have. Just the physical body itself, I should say mental issues you're having, like depression or PTSD or things like this, which can be dealt with. But before that, the physical body itself, the vessel that holds all of this light, is getting the upgrade that the planet's getting. So it's vibrating at the same frequency as the planet, and it's trying to hold all of this light from the chakra system in it. So the higher that body, the car, the vessel, the body-mind complex that is Jason, the higher that's vibrating, the easier it is to hold all of this higher light. And as that goes up with the planet, you're going to be able to hold more of this. You're going to be able to have psychic abilities that will turn on. So things like, I've been hearing a lot about telekinesis. I think that is, did I say telekinesis? I was thinking telepathy, and there's no mistakes. So maybe start playing around with telekinesis. That this is a real thing where you can move objects, physical objects with the power of your energetic field. Your energetic field can interact with the physical world, obviously, or you wouldn't be able to puppet this avatar. But telekinesis is essentially, okay, so your soul is puppeting this body. It's literally light interacting with matter and causing movement. I got to consciously move my arm and make the choice to do this. Whereas there's unconscious behaviors that the body does itself, like your heart beating. You can change things, though. You naturally breathe at a certain pace, but you can adjust it and breathe using your conscious mind, override the monkey mind. I'm not sure where I was going with this, but the Schumann Blackout, wow. So, yeah, lost. I'm in a blackout. Wow. It's all gone. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about. We're struggling here. It's going to be hard to keep your mind clear, and it's going to be hard to keep that connection. So what's happening with me right now is when I start speaking like this and I get going on one of these thought patterns, I'm channeling. I'm connecting to my higher self. This isn't coming from the brain, it's coming from a higher level. And when you're struggling to have that connection because of things like the Schumann resonance, all of a sudden you'll just lose it. You lose the plot. So that's what happened. I'll have to watch this back because I don't even remember what I just said. I was very deeply channeling it, and I think it was profound. So that's unfortunate. It's a good thing because you just get to see it in real time, how the channeling process works and how it doesn't work sometimes. Yeah. So I have a new Patreon subscriber, my second ever, and I would really appreciate it if you see value in this content. Go over to Patreon and subscribe to my channel. I do extra content over there as well as coaching if you would like. Maybe help you understand what's happening on a personal level with this stuff. There's different tiers, but the lowest tier is at $10. So I would really appreciate it if you would go over there and help me keep making these videos. And like I always say, the scatterbrain Jason right now would really, gee whiz. Like I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you soon, hopefully in a clearer frame of mind. Bye, guys.